Bonjour tout le monde. Hi everybody. It has been a hot minute because I am very inconsistent, and also I'm living at my parents' place and I find it very awkward to film here for some reason. So hopefully when I move back into my flat I will update regularly and like actually do this YouTube thing properly, because I want to. I really want to, I just don't. Today we're talking about la langue française. We're gonna talk about learning French because I recently did a 7-week French conversation and grammar course through the Alliance Française, and I would just like to talk about that. I did French in school for a few years as my third language when I was in South Africa, and then I moved to the UK and I did A-level French as like my second language, and that was quite a jump. It was a bit of a panic, but I did it, got my seat, and then I just didn't speak French for like 4 or 5 years. I did a little bit, like every now and again I would practice or like watch a French movie with subtitles, but I really did not keep it up. So I was like, no, I'm gonna do it. I don't want to lose the language that I put all that effort into learning. So I decided to do this course through the Alliance Française. I did that, and now I would like to talk about things you can do to assist your learning of any language really, but I'm going to talk about French because that's the one that I learned. I've been using a bamboo straw and I'm definitely allergic. Anyway, basically my first step is to maybe try the Alliance Française because they were really cool. They have classes and stuff that you can do, but obviously that depends on money for the classes and if you have time for the classes, and you might not. If you don't want to do the classes, they have these like French film evenings on every 2nd and 4th Tuesday of the month, or you can see on Facebook, and they play French films with subtitles. So if you are like a beginner, it's fine, or even if you don't speak any French, you can still go and enjoy the film night, and you can bring your own snack. It's free basically. They do have snacks and drinks for sale, but you can bring your own snacks. Very chilled. You can like speak to people and kind of practice having conversations, and they're super understanding because they're a school. You can be slow, you can stutter, mumble, take your time. It's like a no pressure environment, which is great. And they also have a mediathèque, they call it, which is a media library, a bibliothèque library, bibliothèque library. You can borrow DVDs, books, CDs, anything really, which leads me to my next thing, books and movies and stuff. I recommend kids book or like easy French books, Le Petit Prince, and this is Est-ce que elle est dame rose, and as you can see the words are big, which means that it's easier. So you also get like adult books that have been translated into easy French, and from the library I don't have it on me anymore, but I took out Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets but in French, which was pretty cool because it wasn't in simplified French or anything, but I didn't have to understand all of it because I knew the story, so I could, you know, if I didn't get a sentence or whatever, I could just move past it. I didn't have to constantly look up words to understand what was going on. Movies you can watch on Netflix or just online, but Netflix is good because they have the subtitle option. Sometimes you can get French subtitles, which is good if you're like intermediate / heading into advanced, or you can get English subtitles, which is better if you're a beginner. And then the other thing obviously is like textbooks. So I have all these from school. Action Grammaire, which is like a grammar book and explains all the rules because there's a lot of rules and a lot of exceptions in French. And then this one is mot à mot, which is like useful phrases. You got the beginner phrase, like the easier phrases, and then the ones in grey are like the more advanced phrases. Well, it's like better than a dictionary, I think, because you shouldn't really like try and directly translate in any language. But if you are going to use a dictionary, I would recommend word reference. It gives you the word and then it like uses it in a sentence, and it also translates like lots of idioms, which is really useful. And then I have this book, which is called Contact, and as you can see it's very old. This is my grade 8 to grade 10 French textbook, but again it's got like a lot of rules, lots of vocab. And then it's pretty cool because these days technology is a thing and you can learn French from your phone. So there's that app Duolingo, which you have definitely heard of, but I'm going to tell you about anyway. I am terrible at maintaining a streak, honestly useless, but I do try and go on like a couple times a week and just do some practice, follow your friends, and you can like check on how they're doing, and it kind of motivates you because they can check on how you're doing and they can see that your streak is 0 and has been for a while. Did you know the best time to study is before bed? And yet I almost never study then. Is your neighbor kind? Speaking of phones and learning French through your phone, there's also some really great podcasts that you can listen to that help you learn your French. Yeah, so a podcast that I really like is Coffee Break French. There's one guy, he's Scottish, but he lived in Paris for a couple of years, or in France, so he's like pretty fluent. And then there's a girl and she's learning French, so you kind of like learn with her, and they start right at the beginning. Bonjour, ça va? Hello, how are you? That sort of thing. They've been going for like 5 years now, so there are a lot of podcasts that you can listen to while you're like at the gym, treadmill, or just while you're walking. Or I sometimes just listen to it while I'm like getting ready, or like, you know, while I'm baking, put on a podcast. There are of course like other French podcasts, that's just the one I use. You can find what works for you, because everybody is different. I used to have like flashcards with like pictures, and like when I was like really starting, like they would kind of like when you're learning to speak as a kid, so it would have a picture on the front and like the English word, and then you'd have to say the French word. Anyway, that's all I have to say on that. Thanks for watching this video. Please comment, like, and subscribe. You know, share your tips for learning a language which is spoken in like 60% of Africa because of colonization. I make videos, not often, but I try.